The oil going into modern engines today is nearly half as thick as what the same engines used just a few years ago, and yet manufacturers say it's completely safe. 0W-8 is now being used in vehicles like Toyota Corolla Hybrid, Toyota Crown Hybrid, Toyota Highlander Hybrid, Toyota Yaris Hybrid, and the Mazda 2 Hybrid with its 1.5-liter engine. The fuel economy gain from dropping to this ultra-thin oil is often less than 1%, while the reduction in viscosity is dramatic. So why make such an extreme change for such a small return? These same engines previously ran thicker oils like 0W-20, and in some parts of the world, they still do. At the same time, some modern engines are already showing strong reliability with ultra-low viscosity oils, while others raise concerns about long-term wear and fuel dilution. So what's really happening here? Are engines truly redesigned for this oil, or are we pushing lubrication to its limits for marginal efficiency gains? In this video, I break down the real data, the chemistry, and used oil analysis to uncover the truth behind 0W-8 and whether it's engineered to work or simply too thin to trust. To understand whether 0W-8 is actually too thin, we need to start with the numbers that define it, because this oil is not just slightly thinner than what we're used to, it's fundamentally operating in a different range. At operating temperature, the most referenced figure is kinematic viscosity at 100 degrees Celsius. A typical 0W-8 oil comes in at around 4.5 to 5.5 centistokes, while a common 0W-20 sits roughly between 8 and 9 centistokes. That is not a small step down. It's close to a 40 to 45% reduction in viscosity. At first glance, that immediately raises concern, because viscosity directly affects the thickness of the oil film separating moving metal surfaces. The more critical metric for real engine protection is high-temperature, high-shear viscosity, or HTHS, measured at 150 degrees Celsius under shear conditions that simulate what happens in bearings and cam interfaces. For 0W-8, this value is typically around 1.7 millipascal seconds, which is the minimum requirement under the JASO GLV1 standard. By comparison, 0W-20 oils usually exceed 2.6 millipascal seconds, and even 0W-16 oils are generally above 2.3. That difference is significant because HTHS viscosity directly correlates with the oil's ability to maintain a load-bearing film under extreme conditions. Lower HTHS means a weaker hydrodynamic film and a greater reliance on boundary lubrication when loads increase. Another important metric is the viscosity index, or VI, which indicates how stable the oil's viscosity remains across temperature changes. Modern 0W-8 oils are formulated with advanced base oils and viscosity modifiers to achieve strong temperature stability, with VI values commonly ranging from the mid-140s to over 150. A higher VI helps the oil resist excessive thinning as temperature rises, supporting adequate film strength despite the ultra-low kinematic viscosity. Volatility is also critical, commonly measured using the NOAC test, ASTM D5800. Lower viscosity oils tend to have higher evaporation potential, which can lead to oil consumption and thickening over time. However, many 0W-8 formulations use high-quality synthetic base stocks, including Group 3+ and GTL, to keep NOAC volatility within controlled limits, typically in the range of 11 to 13%, often around 12%. This is comparable or only slightly higher than many 0W-16 and 0W-20 oils. This is important because excessive evaporation not only reduces oil level, but also changes the remaining oil's characteristics. Total base number, or TBN, reflects the oil's acid neutralizing capacity, an important factor for long-term durability and corrosion protection. Modern 0W-8 oils typically have TBN values in the 7 to 9 milligrams of potassium hydroxide per gram range, achieved through balanced detergent packages. This is quite comparable to many 0W-20 oils, which also commonly fall between 7 and 10. While the lower viscosity of 0W-8 does not inherently reduce TBN, formulators maintain similar reserve alkalinity to ensure adequate acid neutralization over the drain interval, especially important in engines with high fuel dilution or those running on ethanol-blended fuels. The pour point is another parameter worth noting, especially when discussing cold start behavior in real engines. 0W-8 oils typically have extremely low pour points, often below -40 degrees Celsius, which indicates that the oil remains fluid at very low temperatures. Cold cranking performance is more accurately captured by standardized tests like the cold cranking simulator at -35 degrees Celsius, where 0W-8 oils typically measure well below 5,000 centipoises, often in the 2,700 to 5,200 range, comfortably under the SAE 0W maximum limit of 6,200. In practice, a very low pour point supports these characteristics by preventing wax crystallization and flow restriction at extreme cold, but the 0W rating itself ensures the oil meets strict cranking and pumping limits at low temperatures. Once the numbers show how thin 0W-8 really is, the next logical question is what allows it to function at all, because the base oil alone cannot provide the level of protection required at such low viscosity. The answer lies in the additive system, and this is where 0W-8 differs most from the intuitive idea of thin oil. Modern formulations are not simply lighter versions of older oils, they are chemically engineered systems designed to compensate for reduced film thickness. One of the most important components is molybdenum-based friction modifiers, commonly in the form of molybdenum dithiocarbamate, or MODTC. Independent oil analyses and product data sheets from manufacturers like Mobil, Enos, and Toyota Genuine Oil consistently show elevated molybdenum levels in ultra-low viscosity oils, often ranging from around 300 to over 700 parts per million. These compounds work by forming a low shear strength layer on metal surfaces under boundary lubrication conditions. In practical terms, when the oil film becomes too thin to fully separate surfaces, molybdenum compounds reduce friction and prevent direct metal-to-metal contact. SAE research, including Toyota's development work on 0W-8, highlights this as a critical mechanism enabling fuel economy improvements without increasing wear. Closely related to this is the role of calcium borate detergents. Unlike traditional calcium sulfonate detergents used primarily for cleaning and neutralizing acids, calcium borate compounds have been shown in tribology studies to contribute to anti-wear performance by interacting with molybdenum additives. In its SAE paper, Toyota specifically describes a synergistic effect between calcium borate and MODTC, where the combined chemistry enhances boundary film formation and stabilizes friction behavior under high load. Another major development is the use of dedicated film-forming additives. These are often proprietary compounds that create a protective layer on metal surfaces, effectively increasing what is known as apparent film thickness without increasing the bulk viscosity of the oil. This directly addresses the limitation identified earlier with low HTHS values. At the same time, the traditional anti-wear chemistry based on ZDDP is being adjusted. While ZDDP is still present, its levels are often reduced in modern low-viscosity oils due to emission system compatibility requirements, particularly to protect catalysts. To compensate, formulators rely more heavily on alternative anti-wear agents and friction modifiers, including the molybdenum compounds and boron-based additives already mentioned. Once that context is clear, the next question becomes why automakers are pushing in this direction at all. The primary driver is fuel economy. Multiple OEM and SAE studies do show that reducing viscosity from 0W-20 to 0W-8 delivers measurable efficiency gains. But in everyday driving, this is the kind of gain that lives more on spreadsheets than at the fuel pump. We're talking about roughly 0.5 to 0.8%, which is about the same difference you'd get from easing off the throttle slightly, skipping one hard acceleration, or even just having properly inflated tires. That directly ties into emissions regulations. Standards such as corporate average fuel economy in the United States and similar global requirements force manufacturers to extract efficiency gains wherever possible. Another key factor is the behavior of modern hybrid powertrains. In hybrid systems, engines frequently shut off and restart, which increases the number of cold starts significantly compared to conventional vehicles. Since a large portion of engine wear occurs during startup, oil that flows faster at low temperatures becomes highly advantageous. Ultra-low viscosity oils like 0W-8 reach critical components more quickly after startup, reducing the duration of boundary lubrication conditions. This rapid circulation is one of the strongest functional arguments in favor of these oils. SHE papers on hybrid duty cycles show that engines in these systems spend less time at peak thermal and mechanical load, which makes them more compatible with lower viscosity oils. Surface engineering, on the other hand, shows clearer progress. Modern engines increasingly use advanced coatings such as diamond-like carbon on cam lobes, lifters, and piston pins. These coatings significantly reduce friction and improve wear resistance, especially under boundary lubrication conditions. When examining data from Blackstone Laboratories, speed diagnostics reports, and testing work discussed by Lake Speed Jr., a consistent pattern emerges with properly maintained 0W-8 oils in recommended applications. In most cases, wear metals remain low and well within normal ranges for modern engines. Iron, the primary indicator of cylinder, ring, and rotating assembly wear, frequently trends between 8 to 25 ppm over 3,000 to 5,000 mile intervals in Toyota and Mazda hybrids, with normalized wear rates often below 5 to 8 ppm per 1,000 miles after break-in. Aluminum from piston and wrist pin and bearing copper typically stay very low, often 2 to 8 ppm and 5 to 15 ppm respectively. Lead is usually negligible, less than 5 ppm. These numbers are comparable to or better than many 0W-20 UOAs in similar engines, indicating that the anti-wear additive systems effectively compensate for the lower HTHS viscosity under normal operating conditions. Viscosity retention is another positive observation. Many 0W-8 UOAs show the kinematic viscosity at 100 degrees C holding between 5.0 to 5.8 centistokes after service, starting from fresh values I mentioned before, meaning the oil often remains within the SAE 8 grade or experiences only minor shear. In some longer interval samples, 8,000 plus kilometers, slight thinning to the low 4.8 to 5.2 centistokes range occurs, but it rarely drops below the practical lower limit for the grade. This demonstrates good shear stability thanks to modern viscosity modifiers and high-quality base stocks. Additive performance holds up well in these analyses. Molybdenum and boron levels often remain strong, with moderate depletion. Zinc and phosphorus also show controlled depletion, while staying within effective ranges. TBN retention is typically solid, with fresh values around 7 to 9 milligrams of potassium hydroxide per gram, dropping to 3 to 5 milligrams of potassium hydroxide per gram at drain, indicating sufficient acid neutralizing reserve for recommended service intervals. Overall, these real-world UOAs support that 0W-8 oils deliver acceptable wear protection and stability when used in the engines they were designed for, with performance heavily dependent on proper maintenance, driving conditions, and adherence to OEM drain intervals. The oil category itself is relatively new in global automotive terms, and most engines using it have not yet accumulated extreme high-mileage populations in the way older generations of engines have. There are very few publicly documented fleets or long-term studies showing consistent operation well beyond 200,000 to 300,000 miles using 0W-8 as the primary lubricant. That uncertainty creates a gap between engineering confidence and historical validation. The lab results and early field data are promising, particularly in hybrid-focused applications, where engines operate under reduced load and controlled temperature cycles. But the long-term behavior of ultra-low viscosity oils in diverse global conditions is still developing. Across forums, many owners describe smooth engine operation, especially during cold starts. Some users report slight improvements in fuel economy, typically described as subtle rather than dramatic, often in the range of what is difficult to isolate from driving conditions alone. Cold climate drivers in particular tend to notice quicker engine response and quieter startup behavior, which is consistent with reduced pumping resistance at low temperatures. One of the most revealing aspects of the 0W-8 discussion is that the same engine can be paired with very different oil viscosities depending on the market, and this creates a direct contradiction that is difficult to ignore. For example, Toyota's dynamic force engines, such as the A25A family, used in vehicles like the Camry, RAV4, and Corolla in hybrid configurations, are specified with 0W-8 in Japan and certain efficiency-focused markets, while in other regions, like Australia, the same engines are often approved for higher viscosity oils, such as 5W30 or even 10W30, depending on conditions. In parts of Europe, it is common to see 0W-20 or 5W30 recommendations for comparable Toyota engines, even when the underlying architecture is similar. Regulatory pressure, particularly fuel economy and CO2 emissions standards, often drives the adoption of lower viscosity oils in markets where efficiency testing cycles are prioritized. In contrast, regions with less aggressive efficiency regulation or different durability expectations tend to retain higher viscosity recommendations as a conservative design buffer. However, its effectiveness is tightly linked to correct application, maintenance discipline, and operating conditions, and the long-term data set beyond typical ownership cycles is still developing. What exists so far is encouraging but incomplete. SAE-based development studies and OEM validation programs show that within defined operating conditions, where rates remain within acceptable limits, fuel economy gains are measurable, and additive systems maintain functionality over standard drain intervals. Used oil analysis trends from early adopters reinforce this, but all of this still falls within relatively controlled usage patterns, often in hybrid systems designed to reduce engine load and thermal stress. The critical uncertainty is what happens outside those boundaries over extended timescales. Automotive durability is not only about passing standardized tests or reaching warranty thresholds, it is about surviving decades of variation in maintenance habits, fuel dilution, driving styles, environmental conditions, and mechanical aging. For owners, the first principle remains unchanged. Follow the manufacturer's specification when the engine is designed for 0W-8, especially during warranty coverage. These engines are not treating oil viscosity as an optional preference, but as part of a calibrated system that includes oil pump design and thermal management strategy. Shortening oil change intervals to match operating severity is often more impactful than switching oil grades outside specification.